it's a mindset game. You got to be strong-willed to begin with, because there's going to be body shots coming left and right. There's always going to be problems, so you got to be aware of that if this is the game that you want to play. So you got to have a passion for what you do and stick to it, such as life, right?
Welcome, everyone, to the Road Less Traveled Show. This is a show about people that were successful in a previous career and left that career to go down a different path. I'm your co-host, Richard Coyne.
And I'm your co-host, Bill Zahller.
On today's show, we are so proud to have Sunil Chillar with us. Sunil, glad you're with us.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining the Road Less Traveled Show. To start off with, can you tell us a little bit about your background, what original path you went down?
Yeah, absolutely. Graduated from college, degree in finance and economics. I actually started with a major brokerage house. Got my Series 7 license, traded securities, vice president with that firm. And at the age of 25, I was basically hired to fire. And one of the things that I saw, or the people that I fired, were people my age. And the older guys, what made me leave, two things that happened. I saw people retire, people who had worked for me, retired a year later, they died. And I actually had a guy, a little bit of a sad story, hung himself. So in my 20s, I'm saying to myself, my God, I got a long way to go for retirement. This is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right around that time, Anthony Robbins had come to town. So I went to one of his events, in Secaucus, New Jersey. I went to one of his events. 20-year-old kid not knowing what the heck is going on. That very first night, I walked on fire bare feet, and it was just life-changing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Walked back into my office the following week and gave my 2 weeks resignation. I was done.
Wow.
I'm making, six figures at that age. I had 87 people working for me, and I walked away, never looked back.
And then as you did that, I mean, that's obviously a fairly drastic line in the sand and just switch. Did you have something going on the side that you were transitioning into, or what were your options you were thinking at that time?
The real estate market back then were pretty hot. Things were moving, and I've always wanted to get into real estate. One of the things that I did, which was dumb, while studying for my Series 7 license, I took the real estate license and I failed it. However, I passed the Series 7 license, and it just haunted me also. I've never failed at anything. Even if I passed and did nothing with it, I would have been okay. So I went back, took the real estate test, passed it, and basically started buying, rehabbing, and flipping. This is 21 years ago, and it's just been fun. I've done tremendously well. I've bought a lot of properties. I just bought where I am currently. I bought a couple of properties out here, which I'm rehabbing, and it's the middle of the week, and I'm just hanging out, enjoying life. So yeah, it's been good.
Oh, that's great. That's kind of funny. I would assume most people would think the Series 7 was a much harder license than the real estate one.
But obviously that my concentration went towards the Series 7.
Yeah. So it was a quest. You had to conquer that real estate license. So good for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, good. So Sunil, as you look back, perhaps when you were in your brokerage days and running, 87 people, that's a big group of people. Is there a funny story you can share? Not the personal tragedy you mentioned, but is there a funny story that you can share, something along the way that really, had to kind of, you wound up leaving, of course, and you obviously decided it was enough, but is there something funny to kind of help build that to that, where you were scratching your head going, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Yes. Where I worked, my parents basically lived about 3 miles away. Mm-hmm. So on a daily basis, Mom cooks every single day. So guess where I am every single day. So, I'll spend about maybe an hour or two just hanging out with Mom, eating at lunch there. And no one ever missed me. And it just, it struck a chord in me. Obviously, I'm getting my job done. I'm delegating, doing what I needed to do. But no one missed me for months on end. And to myself, obviously, I'm highly driven. I know I could do more. I could make more. And, thankfully at that young age, I saw that in me. And like I said, just meeting also with Tony Robbins and going to that event, that basically was a catalyst. Growing up, we always, and for me, coming from a different country, coming here, having nothing because I came as an immigrant, came without a green card, really. Having nothing, I know what it is to have nothing, number one. And just the opportunity that lies ahead, I wanted more. I wanted more for me, and basically took advantage of that. And things just unfolded in such a way where it led me to where I am today.
Very cool. I heard a story. I didn't see it firsthand, but somebody told me that there was a particular guy at a utility company who was constantly rushing around, always busy, always in a hurry, always going somewhere. And one day they followed him, and evidently the guy was going from place in the building, different floors to different offices or different wherevers, and he basically was doing nothing at each point. And he just was rushing around like he was so important, and he really had a place to be, that he just gave that impression. And it's amazing how, it's a testament to you that you set up a team that could function without you. But at the same point in time, yeah, I'm with you. You're a high achiever. You don't want to just be sitting there, and there's more. You want more. So I get it. Yeah.
I think you've touched on this already, but was there like a deciding moment or a factor that made you decide to leave? I mean, you mentioned the Tony Robbins event. You went back. So something clicked or transitioned to that moment. Was it just a clarity, or just realizing something within you as far as the path you were started down and to switch careers?
It's just, being on that wheel, mm-hmm. being on that hamster wheel. Yeah. I've read a lot of books. I've been to a lot of different events where I've seen enough. And again, this is going back 20 years where, being a lot younger, just looking at things with a different eye. And again, just being high driven, right. I felt boxed in, mm-hmm. where yes, the money was great. Believe you me, the money was great, but I know I could do more, I could do better. Mm-hmm. One of the things with me currently, just to let you know, in my office, what I do with anyone who comes just because of who I am and what I do and what I am about, I tell people, I'll make you uncomfortable. If you come into this office, you'll be uncomfortable in a good way. I'm going to put you out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to push you. And I've pushed people out the door. On a personal note, I'm scared of heights. Guess mm-hmm. what I'm doing? I'm working on getting my pilot's license.
Good for you.
Yeah. That's excellent.
I've told my wife this year I turned 50. Mm-hmm. This year, in a couple of months, my midlife crisis is coming because I'll have my license and I'm looking to buy a plane. So
that's excellent.
So she knows it. But again, I push myself. I like to be uncomfortable in that space because that's where growth takes place.
That's right.
So, failing forward. I've always failed forward, and I just got to do it a lot faster right now in my life.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. No, I highly recommend the pilot route. I do some flying myself, but I don't know if it's a cure for heights. I wouldn't want to be on like a 30-foot ladder, but at 41,000 feet doesn't bother me.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's great. No, it's really enjoyable, and I commend you for pursuing that. It'll be I think it'll be a lot of fun for you.
That's excellent. Yeah. Again, at the edge of your comfort zone is where change happens, where mm-hmm. good things happen. So, that's excellent that you're taking that personal challenge, and I think we can all look back and identify something that we've just really tried to push ourselves, and even back into pre-high school days, I can identify one particular event where I'm like, I am pushing out of my comfort zone. And I really feel like I made a difference even way back then. I've had multiple other things across time, college, grad school, and, working professional world where I take that as, try to personally continually grow. But yeah, excellent. Good for you. So Sunil, as you were really you left the Wall Street world and you went into doing real estate. Were there some challenges you encountered along the way initially, and as you made that shift?
In real estate, there's never a challenge. Listen, I've failed many a times. It's a process where there's always road bumps, right? There's always landmines, if you will. One of the things that I would tell anyone and everyone is have someone there, have a mentor, have someone who have done it before you, who have made the mistakes before you. Because if you make certain mistakes, it could cost you. These are big body shots that could take you out. I was blessed after leaving Wall Street, one of the companies, which was really a mom and pop company that I liked the individual, went there. He actually taught me the foreclosure and bankruptcy world. So every week, I'm in front of different judges in different counties, months on end, because my clients were basically individuals losing their properties. So I'm there, trying to either sell the property for them or assist them in not losing the property. So that's why I'm in front of different judges. And it's just such a great learning experience just in doing so, helping people as well. And like I said, I've been buying, rehabbing, and flipping now for 21 years. I wish I could say I've seen it all, but you continue to see new things in this length of time. But I've made my share of errors, which I've learned from. One of the things that I'm doing in the last 2 years now, pretty much scaled my business. So I'm into the multifamily space right now. Some of the typical average price that we are comfortable with is somewhere between $20 and $30 million. The funny thing about buying one of these asset classes is it is so much easier to get a loan on one of these type, $20 million than a $500,000 house, which you scratch your head, why? But that's the world that I'm in right now. Hindsight is always 2020. I wish I was doing this now 20 years ago, but it is what it is. It's the journey.
Yeah. Everything's a building process. I mean, I'm totally with you. I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been in a different world and doing many different things. But I've had great experiences along the way, and certainly some bad, but a lot of good, and much more good than bad. And again, it's made me who I am. So yeah, I definitely you always wish that you had learned something earlier, but again, you got here by taking that challenge on and building and learning. So yeah.
And like
I've helped many people as well along the way. So I'm happy about that.
And like you said, even engaging that mentor to get started in the process too, you're able to skip a lot of the lessons you didn't have to learn yourself through their experience too, which kind of fast tracks the path.
There's an expression I love that says, learn from your mistakes. Well, actually, I'd rather learn from others' mistakes, other people's mistakes. So that's the mentor. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what was as you look back, as you transitioned into the real estate side of it, can you look back to what you think like your first victory was when it kind of clicked and you realized you'd made the right choice going with the real estate route?
One of the properties that I bought, maybe my second or third property, I made $250,000 on that transaction, which was obviously eye-opening. And last couple of years when the market had crashed, couple of things that really drove home for me. Back in 06, 07, when the market crashed, I bought a ton of properties, pennies on the dollar. So I did very well back then. COVID came along, and it was a second opportunity where, personally, it was the best thing that ever happened in my life, because again, it sort of hit that reset button and got me back into onto track as far as to grow and grow exponentially again. So when there are times of chaos, which, there's all these cycles that takes place, there's always an opportunity to make money. And, is the glass half full or half empty, right? There's always that opportunity. And are we looking for opportunity, or are we just chasing our tail, trying to play catch up? What are we doing?
Right.
So I've taken advantage of those two time frames where I did, again, tremendously well. And I'm in the buying phase again. And right now I'm doing, on the smaller stuff, I'm making it a point to buy one property a month. And, rehab and all that good stuff. And this is where I am right now with that one that I just bought.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kiyosaki talks about opportunities all around. You just have to know where to look for it, and you got to open your eyes, because there's so many people that just don't know. We were talking about it on a recent show that, some people think that you have to have 6 figures in your bank to go buy real estate. That's not true. Again, you're not going to buy a $20, $40 million, $30 million property with, less than $100,000 in your bank. But you can go find something. And again, to your point earlier, along the way, you may very well be helping somebody. There very, very, very well be somebody that, just needs to sell a property, and you might be helping them. So, good stuff.
One of the things I've learned a long time ago, OPM. Yeah. God is my witness. I've not yet put $1 out of my pocket in 20 years to buy property.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
This very property that I'm sitting on right now, a funny little story, cost me $120,000. I actually put out $5,000 to buy this property. This is 2022.
Right.
Wow.
Where does this exist? Talk about creative financing, or like I said, OPM. It exists. The possibility is definitely there. And I'm testimony that it happens, because this is what I do. This is what I've been doing, and I've been very successful at it.
Right. And again, you're looking for those opportunities, so things open up in front of you. I mean, we've heard of other types of deals that we've never been exposed to before, other than the fact that Bill and I are doing apartments ourselves. And, back when the W-2 world, I've never heard about that particular deal or this particular opportunity. So, very cool. All right. So Sunil, you kind of answered the question about, just a funny story. And again, to buy $120,000 property with the bank being your partner, and obviously somebody else's money to help with the in between, and $5,000 yourself. That's a pretty good situation. So very nice.
Absolutely. Well, where are you today in your journey? Like I said, you talked about initially you did some fix and flips, and you've done the rehabs, and now you're transitioning to multifamily. Kind of where are you today along your journey, and where are you looking to head?
In the multifamily world, we've been syndicating. Everything that we do obviously is SEC compliant. That's the space that I love. I've built right now with my partners. We have built a pipeline of a network of brokers who would call us, sharing deals with us. So at this point in time, we're just raising money, or continue to raise money, to go ahead and purchase, these type properties.
Mm-hmm. What area of the country do you focus on? Is there any particular geographic region?
Texas right now is where everybody wants to be. That's the hot market right now. Yeah. So that's the market we are focusing on. Obviously, Florida is a pretty good market. The Carolinas, Georgia, Tennessee is a very hot market also right now. Landlord-friendly states, that's the focus. One of the people that I have on my team is a demographer. Mm-hmm. So we have software that also allows us to look at where, before we actually buy something. Obviously, if the numbers make sense and we know there's growth and do our due diligence, we want to buy it, right? The goal is to make a profit here. Flipping on steroids, that's what it is. But we do have that demographer that we have that assistance with software and information that allows us to pinpoint exactly, different places throughout the country that there's opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. Sunil, you mentioned it as over your days of buying real estate. A lot of times you were helping people who were, having to go to court before a judge and, try to not lose their house, things like that. So that's awesome. That's incredible. But just is there anything else you can share that you do? Maybe it's personally, maybe through your business, in terms of just trying to give back and trying to help others beyond what you mentioned?
I like to teach people the business.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate, there's a tremendous amount of wealth and money to be made in real estate. This, for the last many years, have been my main focus here. When COVID, so this is really what my focus is training, helping, teaching people to make money. One of the things that I've done is when COVID first came about, and right with lockdown, I started marketing small businesses throughout the community for free. So I paid my videographer, I did all the legwork, and I paid the price to market their companies to drive business to them, and this was free of charge. So that's one of the things that I did. I'm back on the streets right now. Last couple of weeks, just basically doing the same. Working on interviewing business owners just to help drive traffic through their door, and that's for free. So I'm doing that again right now.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Very, very impressive.
We mentioned a little bit ago about scaling your business. What is there something you recently implemented that's allowed you to scale?
Just the process in itself of buying these asset classes. If nothing else, if I do one transaction a month, buy one house a month, that's basically 12 a year. I buy 100 unit. I have definitely scaled the business. So that's been the focus on just buying these big asset classes.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything else, with these, I hold on to a lot of properties. I flip as well. The big stuff, obviously, we're flipping. So I'm working on also having business partners where maybe we could do JV ventures together and maybe hold on to the deals.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. I know Richard tells this story a lot too, but I'm sure we've all come up with the same math thing. You start realizing, one house, $100 a month profit or whatnot on it, the amount of real estate you have to purchase to replace an income, or, that way that, like you said, the flipping on steroids, you get to the multifamily buying 100, 200, 300 units at a time. It just exponentially increases the cash flow, obviously.
Correct. Well, the other thing also, from a financial standpoint, if you have a quad or a fourplex, if one person decides not to pay rent and you're losing either 1/3 or 25% of your income right there. You have 100 units and one person really don't pay rent. Yes, you evict them, but you don't feel that financial pinch. Plus all your problems under one roof.
Right.
It's just easier to manage.
And it's one contract to do instead of 100.
Correct.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But obviously there are a lot of benefits. A lot of people that I speak to don't or have never heard of cost segregation as well.
Right.
So we implement that, obviously. So there's a ton of things that could be done. Number one, you helping your investors, you're saving them a ton of money, you're making them money.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, as far as your tenants go, you improving the property, you're making it just a safer, better place for someone to say, hey, I want to go home. I love where I live.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There are tremendous benefits on both fronts.
Right. And it's like, so the ease of operations, like a minimum 100 units, right? You've got, at that point, we always figure like basically 50 units per full-time employee. So you'd have one maintenance guy and then one leasing agent. So it just runs smoother, right? You're not trying to get a maintenance person there. They're already on site, and you can just run it more efficiently, as we said. Yeah.
One of the things that we would look at also is our property. We do not self-manage. So we do have professional property managers to manage. So at times, they become our GP partner. So in addition to managing the property, it just makes it easier also with a bank. where it's easier to get that loan, making them a GP partner.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good.
So Neil, as you think about kind of where you are and your path forward and where you've been, is there a piece of advice that you can share with somebody that's considering making a path change?
It's a mindset game. Number one, you got to be strong-willed to begin with, because there's going to be body shots coming left and right. There's always going to be problems, so you got to be aware of that. You definitely want to have a mentor if this is the game that you want to play. But just again, what books are you reading? What's playing in your head? Who are you listening to? That's going to drive, number one, how you think, and that's going to drive your business. So you gotta have a passion for what you do and stick to it, because there's always going to be problems, such as life, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. Well, what's the best way for our listeners to be able to reach you and learn more about what you're doing?
Sure. I'd love, number one, for listeners to, hey, join me on this part, make some money here with me. But I love to give my cell phone. I want people to call me directly rather than email me. So I'll give my cell phone number, which is 201-954-0292.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you being on the show today. I really enjoyed the conversation and want to wish you continued success.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Absolutely.
So Neil, it's been great to have you on. Really appreciate it. We also would like to thank our listeners. Please continue to give us this great 5-star rating so we can bring you more great content like Sunil Chillar on our show today. We'd also like to thank Park Capital Partners that sponsors the show and remind you of 2 important things. First of all, we have the Park Capital Partners Value Add Fund, which is a 506c fund that's open for investment right now. And we also, last year, we created the Park Capital Partners Foundation, which is a 501(c) nonprofit, which is one of the ways that Bill and I give back. First, we fund the foundation so that the money donated to the foundation goes to do its best work. Second, we also donate a portion of our profits and personally donate to the foundation. And then finally, when an investor invests with us, we make a donation to honor that investor to a charity of their choice from a list of 15. So please join us, reach out to say hello. Bill and I are happy to chat with anybody at any point. And again, thank you, Sunil, for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And remember, folks, the road less traveled may be calling you. We recommend that you listen and take action. Thanks for joining.